On Monday morning, Israel bombed another hospital in Gaza. This time, it was Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis, the last functioning hospital in southern Gaza. After aid workers and journalists went scrambling to help people, Israel bombed a second time.
The journalists were killed, along with more than a dozen civilians and first responders in the back-to-back strikes on Nasser Hospital.
They hit the hospital's emergency department, inpatient ward, and surgical unit. 20 people were killed, including 5 journalists. Hussam al-Masri worked as a cameraman for Reuters. Mariam Daga was a 33-year-old photographer for AP. Moaz Abu Taha was a photojournalist for Reuters and Haaretz. Ahmed Abu Aziz was 28 years old. He worked for Middle East Eye. And Mohammed Salama worked for Al Jazeera and Middle East Eye.
Palestinian journalists right now are crying. If I show you my colleagues that are sitting between the reporting and between their live shifts, they're trying to hold their tears. They're trying to find the words to describe what's going on. Our colleagues were killed live on air. And there's no way there are any words to describe what's happening. Every single day we're mourning people. We're still grieving Anas and Muhammad, and we're still trying to stand up and getting our strength.
Bombing hospitals, targeting civilians. These are war crimes. But Israel does it again and again and again for over 1.5 years. Over 60,000 people dead, with likely many, many thousands more uncounted and buried under rubble, decomposing amidst the ash. This time, instead of lying through his teeth that this bombing was justified, the genocidal monster and head of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, Netan-Nazi, lied through his teeth and made a statement that Israel deeply regrets the tragic mishap that occurred today at the Nasser Hospital in Gaza. Tragic mishap? My ass. Israel has drones flying above Gaza 24/7. They closely track journalists and aid workers, calling them, threatening them, bombing their families, and targeting them for assassination in their cars or their homes and even their tents. Over 247 journalists now killed. None of what Israel is doing with the U.S.'s full backing is a mishap. But that's not all. Netan-Nazi went on to say that the military authorities are conducting a thorough investigation. A thorough investigation? The investigation, like about the Flower Massacre of February 2024, where 118 Palestinians were killed and 760 injured, while waiting for an aid convoy, and when shots rang out, people started to run, but were met by waves of gunfire. The dead were soaked in blood and flour. After Israeli's army's lies about what had started the melee were exposed by CNN, the army promised a further investigation. Or like last May, after a tent camp was bombed and 45 people burned alive in Rafah. After the outcry, once again, Netan-Nazi said a tragic mistake had been made and the authorities would investigate. Or like last April, when an aid convoy with clearly marked trucks from the World Central Kitchen was bombed on a road that the Israelis knew they would be on, killing 7 international aid workers. And once again, the Israeli military said they'd made a grave mistake and would investigate. Or what about last month, when the Israeli army bombed a water collection point, killing at least 10 people, including 6 children, in central Gaza? The military said they'd made a technical error and would look into it further. Or also last month, when Israel bombed the Greek Orthodox Church of St. Porphyrius, the 3rd oldest church in the world. 3 people were killed, and Israel once again issued a statement of regret. Or let's go all the way back to January 2024. 6-year-old Hind Rajab was alone in a car surrounded by her dead family, all of whom had just been killed by the Israeli army. She had the wherewithal to call the paramedics, who stayed on the phone with her for hours while she begged for help, with the sound of shooting echoing all around.
حبيبتي طيب ما أنا يا حبيبتي رح أجي أخذك هلا. عمو من الهلال عماله عم بنصك عشان إحنا نقدر نيجي ناخذك. حواليكي في ضرب رصاص؟ خديني يا حبيبتي والله بدي أخذك بس مش بإيدي هلا.
After they thought it was safe, an ambulance was dispatched to rescue Hind. But the clearly marked ambulance was bombed by the Israeli army, killing the 2 emergency workers inside. After people were able to finally go to the site, 6-year-old Hind was found dead, along with her uncle and her aunt and her 3 cousins, and the car was peppered with bullet holes. The IDF first tried to cover all this up, saying there were no soldiers in the area, but when this was met with outrage, they said the probe was ongoing. 88% of Israel's investigations into their own war crimes have been shut down or left unresolved. You will investigate? Lies. Lie after lie after lie, and everyone knows it's a lie to justify and cover up a genocide live-streamed to the whole world. Meanwhile, the fascist Trump calls Netanyahu a war hero.
He's a war hero because we work together. He's a war hero. I guess I am too.
Netanyahu, soaked in the blood of the Palestinian people, praised by Trump, soaked in the blood of the people of the world. These are war criminals. The system that drives this, the system of U.S. capitalism-imperialism that requires the Zionist state of Israel as a military outpost in the strategic region of the Middle East, the system that puts these monstrous Nazi madmen into power, is a rotten and an utterly illegitimate system. And this is needless. This system of towering crimes and lies to cover up their crimes is needless, and no one should tolerate living one more day under this system. We need and we demand a whole new way to live and a fundamentally different system.